Question number 26 of the ID passport exam from PhilNITS. In this question, we are being asked, in a database management system, which of the following is a function for maintaining consistency of data by preventing the occurrence of conflicts due to simultaneous access to the data? So first, we underline some of the key phrases. Database. Let me just make this a little bit thicker. Database. We have something about database. We have something about maintaining consistency of data and preventing occurrences of conflicts, simultaneous access. Okay, so what is the word for that? If we look at the choices, actually, when I was doing this just a while ago again, I was looking at deadlock or exclusive control. But because what we really want is not the term for the conflict, the problem, but more of how do you maintain consistency. So it's the solution. And the solution is to do exclusive control, which means that if you're using this part of the data, anyone else shouldn't be able to access it or shouldn't be able to change anything with it at all because you're using it. So that after you've updated the data, you've updated any of the fields, for example, in the data, could be the patient record, another person would want to access it, could access it then and update the data accordingly. Instead of you changing something and another person changing another thing, and it becomes difficult to know which one's the newest. There has to be some way to identify if the updates that you did would be included in the next set of updates, or would it be just scrapped and the newer version will be uploaded, and whatever you changed wouldn't be reflected in the new version anymore. So we want to prevent that, and that's why we have something like exclusive control. The other word that I was thinking about was deadlock. This one is well, the problem. What that means is two people, for example, want to access the data, but because they're waiting for each other to finish, they they don't know they don't know how to proceed anymore because one is waiting for the other to finish, the other one is also waiting for the other to finish, so they are stuck in this state, and they need to know if anyone is uh, is done or not. And I think the solution for this one, because if you've ever done something related to databases and you get locked up, what that means is you can't access the database anymore. The way to solve that is, well, one way to solve that is to access the database using a higher privileged user, maybe the administrator, so he can fix the problem and remove the lock, because the database could lock too when it found that maybe someone was editing something, but because that person is not logging in anymore, the data is stuck with him. So the person who's supposed to edit it is only that person, but that person, um, maybe because the server got shut down after a power failure, the only person who should be able to edit it was the last person. But because the last person isn't logging in, nobody else could access the data anymore. And it could be also, we don't know who was the last one. And so we got to have another person like the admin guy come in and unlock the database so that anyone else who would want to change the data could do so now. It's not anymore waiting for the last person to finish. Okay, so that's the solution to the deadlock problem. Okay, which is to bring in the administrator, to unlock the system. That's one way to solve it. The other words that we have here is to restore. I think this one reminds us of if your database after a certain point of time couldn't function anymore, you go back to the point in time when it could still function well. So you restore it to that state. But this one, I think, is the question is going more towards the exclusive control. Okay, because it's about simultaneous access to the data. Now, the last one, normalization, I think this is more of how to create a database. If you have several data fields, names of patients, and things like that, how do you create a database out of those information? And um, that could be called normalization. Okay, so the last, the correct answer here is letter C, exclusive control. Let's look at the notes that I have, see if we can add anything else. Okay, so we are looking at database management systems, conflicts, simultaneous access, and we solve it by exclusive control. Deadlock is a problem. Normalization of the database is to create a database um, by by creating tables where you don't have several duplicates, several multiple fields that are unnecessary, eliminating all the unnecessary fields, duplicates, and all that. So in that way, you create a database that is less uh, with those excess. And for this part, you can also look into learn.microsoft.com as your reference. And this is Sanko again, which means reference in Nihongo, the Japanese language. Okay?